crave simple things. Like I love my life and I love my job, and I feel so fortunate that I have been placed here, that for some reason I was given this life. Like I feel immensely grateful for that, and I have had so much fun, and I like think back on just the experiences that I've had thus far, and it's shocking to me. I'm like, this is so freaking cool that I live this life. But at the end of the day, like when I am home and when I'm alone, like I crave the simple things. I love a simple day. I love just like a simple routine and being to myself and being around the people that I love.
Way internally when you think about it, or when you had it.
Like I said, I look back and the things that I've accomplished, just even my job, like I think I really at one point when I was younger decided I want to be a model and this is what I want to do. And the fact that I executed, because we talk about that determination, like I was 14 years old when I kind of made that decision and was like, this is what I want to do. And I went to my mom and I was like, please help me do this. And I didn't stop until I was 24. That I was like, okay, I think I need to like take it back a notch, which we could also get into because that's a very kind of dramatic story. But like, I just knew, and I think I'm proud of myself for being that kid and being determined to do that, and then executing and doing it to the level that I had done it, and that I guess I still do. But I also am proud of, I think more so the self-work that I've done within that process, because there was a long period of time, I'd say the core 5 years of it, that I was extremely overworked, not my happiest, not because I wasn't doing what I loved, but just because I was overwhelmed, and I felt like I was saying yes to everything because I felt really, really grateful and really honored to be in the position that I was in, so I was always saying yes. And it just took a lot out of me to the point where I just wasn't happy anymore. And so I had to set those boundaries for myself when I was about 23, 24. I'd say like, a year before the pandemic. So yeah, I was probably 23. I really set boundaries for myself, and I was like, I want to continue to do this because this is what I love. But I need to start saying no when I can, and prioritizing me and prioritizing like, you know, my happiness and my well-being. And it has done wonders for me. Like I feel like I can show up better for myself, and I can show up a better person for the people that get to be around me that day, and you know, that I work with on that day. So so that's what I'm proud of. Victim to so many things that don't serve you and that don't make you happy. If your happiness depends on the actions of others, you know, you're at mercy of things that you can't control. And that's never where I want to be. So I always want to live in, like, me and my therapist talk about like my higher goddess, my higher self. Like I always want to live there, knowing that, you know, when I'm there, you can't take that away from me. That's mine. And no matter what, you can disagree with me, you can agree with me. That's not going, I'm not changing, I'm not shifting. I'm here, I'm in my higher goddess. So I always live by like keep holding my happiness and not letting anyone else affect it. And though I fall victim to it at times, as we all probably do, I strive every day to live in that place. So.
What are some of the qualities of your higher goddess, or that kind of avatar? Like,
she's awesome. Like I said, I don't love a pity party. I also like, you know, sometimes it feels weird to like say good things about yourself, but I've also learned a lot about talking to myself and a lot about looking in the mirror and being like, you're great, you're gorgeous, you're amazing, you're loyal, you're positive, you're so many, like I love words of affirmation. I love just sitting there and reassuring myself of who I am, because that's another thing for me. You know, there's so many false narratives about me, about all of us, I'm sure. Like, so many people think they have you figured out when they don't even know the half of it. So sitting there and being like, you know, you get frustrated sometimes. It could feel really unfair. You could be reading something that someone is saying about you, or hearing something that someone's saying about you, and being like, that is so unfair because that's not who I am. And that really gets to me sometimes, and that really sucks. But then looking at myself in the mirror and being like, but I know who I am, and that's all. Why does anything else matter? And my friends know who I am, and my family knows who I am, My dog knows who I am. My horse knows who I am. Like, why does everything else is just noise?
I do this exercise, I don't know if I've shared this before, but I do this exercise with some of my clients where we go on a walk and we'll be on a hike, and I'll ask them what they think a piece of, maybe there's a little leaf, or maybe there's a flower or something that looks a little unique on the path. And I'll say, what do you think that feels like? And what do you think it would feel like if you picked it up in your hand? Mm-hmm. And they'll be like, oh, it looks really rough, and like it might scratch me, and like it looks like a bit, like uneven or whatever, and it looks kind of hard and strong. And then I'll ask them to pick it up. And 9 times out of 10, it's completely different. Like they'll pick it up and it'll just dissolve in their hands, or they'll turn it over and the color's really soft. The shape's really soft, and the color's totally different on the other side. And I do that exercise to help us realize just how multifaceted humans are.
Yeah.
Like, today I've got to meet you, and obviously we're spending a lot of deep, intimate, vulnerable time together. So you learn faster about someone. But if someone only follows someone on social media, or only sees someone at an event, or only sees one interview, it's so easy to create such a singular view of someone.
Right.
And I think, and I want to say this because I really think we all feel it, I don't think anyone wants to be seen in a singular way. If you had to choose one word that had to be you for the rest of your life, I don't think anyone wants that. I think we all know that we're messy and complex and different.
Of course.
But we like to put someone else in a box, whoever that may be, because it's easier then to live life and say, okay, well, that's person's A, B.
Right.
So there's this beautiful piece of wisdom that I always share from Charles Horton Cooley, and he wrote this in 1890, I think it was, which just shows how true this has been for such a long time, and obviously long before that as well. And he said, the challenge today is, I'm not what I think I am. I'm not what you think I am. I am what I think you think I am. And we'll let that blow everyone's mind. It gives me chills every time I say it. Charles Horton Cooley said, the challenge today is, I'm not what I think I am. I'm not what you think I am. I am what I think you think I am. And what he's trying to say is that we live in a perception of a perception of ourselves. So if I think you think I'm smart, then I allow myself to feel smart.
Right. It's like we need that validation.
We need that validation. Right. Or if I think you think I'm not smart, then I feel hurt. Yeah. And the challenge is, I don't know what you're thinking at all, or especially outside in the world. And so I find that what you're saying around that, well, what do I think about myself? Like, how do I feel about myself? How do the people that actually know me feel about me? Right. I think that's really important. I wanted to ask you, because I feel like from what I've seen and from what I've heard, you have great friendships. You have a great relationship with your family, as you said. Like, what do you think have been really great habits or traits in relationships that have helped you build up good friendships and family relationships? Because I think for so many people, sometimes their friendships and their family can often be the most difficult part. But I feel like the way you communicate, the way you're talking about it, I'm like, okay, there's some really good habits in place here. Yeah. Have there been any principles or rules that you've learned along the way that have been helpful? I
mean, of course, honesty. I'm a big person on like keeping a really honest, healthy, communicative relationship. But I also think, like, I find it really important to not feel like you're on top of each other when you have your family around or your friends around. It's okay to, like, sometimes, even if you're at like a family dinner, running to the bathroom and just being like, let me just take a couple breaths because this is getting overwhelming.
That's a great
Do you know
one.
what I mean? So I just love to, like, take a second. My feelings are valid. Like, sometimes my family's a lot, which I bet everyone already knows, which is totally, everyone's families have a sense of crazy to them. But I think that I can get really overwhelmed really easily. I am prone to just, a good amount of anxiety and just being extremely overwhelmed and kind of taking everything too seriously sometimes. So I like to just step away sometimes and just be like, this is okay. I'm allowed to feel this way. It's valid. I'm just going to take a deep breath and I'm not going to react. And then I'm going to go back out there and I'm going to be fine.